A diabetic inmate at Rikers Island died after 14 hours of suffering because corrections officials refused to administer his insulin. So Carlos Mercado was his name. He was 46 years old. He died in 2013. This story just broke in the New York Daily News this week. Mercado was a diabetic heroin addict who died in a holding pen with 14 other inmates. Still, the guards were like, he's probably faking it or something. The guy was in excruciating pain. They just ignored him. They say, quote, an investigation by the New York State Commission of Correction said that corrections officers are solely to blame for allowing Mercado to die through medical neglect. According to the investigation, correction officer Eric Jacobs ignored Mercado's pleas for help and twice stepped over Mercado's dying unconscious body while processing other inmates. Jacobs has a history of excessive use of force against inmates and insubordination against his superior officers. But he was not the only officer on duty, as Mercado pled for his medication, then became too sick to move. Now, the story somehow gets even worse, because when he died and they learned about it, their response was basically, oops, we thought he was just, quote, dope sick. Also known as he was going through withdrawal from the heroin, so we just ignored his excruciating pain. Well, first of all, even if that was the case, and he was just in excruciating pain from withdrawals from heroin, I still think you should give him medical attention. That's number one. Number two, that's not true. That wasn't the case. He was telling you, I need insulin, you didn't give him the fucking insulin. So here's my takeaway, man. It's not just that these guys should be fired, because they should. It's also that they need to go to jail. The cops need to understand you're not above the rest of the population. Your job is to protect and serve the population, whether you're a corrections officer, whether you're, a cop on patrol in the streets. Your job, you're a public servant, you're paid for via tax dollars. That's who pays your salary. So you have to do the right thing. You have to care about the law. You have to treat people like they're people. You're not better than them because you wear a uniform and they maybe or maybe not did something wrong to get into jail. They still have their rights when they're in jail. So, again, what should happen with these guys is not only fire them, bring them up on charges, and please find them guilty, because it's clear it's medical neglect which led to somebody's death. We cannot let this slide.